So, Rakath just trapped himself. It's okay. He's very hurt. You've only just wandered into the doorway of this lower floor, the floor below your home. It's still appears abandoned. It still appears empty. Like I described before, it's kind of like a wheel with a big central ring, circular chamber, and then areas that go off of it. And it looks exactly the same. And you can look around inside, and you would have while you're setting up that traps. And it doesn't seem like anyone's here or anything's here.
Can I make sure? Oh, yes.
It really doesn't look okay. It looks like you might have broken your hand.
Oh, probably. Yes.
Whatever's coming out of him, it ain't blood.
Realistically, there are 3 points here where the trap actually dug into my flesh. And in those points, it actually separated between the bones. I very likely actually dislocated my wrist, as well as, in all likelihood, fractured at least one of the bones in my wrist. Yeah. And realistically, from a medical standpoint, that means I should probably splint it.
If you lose any more pus, will you be okay? Or whatever that is that's leaking out.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I feel completely fine right now.
Great to hear. Then shall we continue?
If you'd like.
Take a minute, bandage it.
I mean, I probably should. Yeah. That would be the responsible.
Let's take a moment. take a few minutes. And you know what? While we do that, I can cast a spell on you.
I'd like to.
I can't cast a spell on you. I can't fix that. Not right now.
No,
I mean, I have magic.
No.
I just don't have that magic with me at the moment. I didn't.
That's okay.
Study it this morning. But I will cast Investor and Shield on Voss.
Okay.
10 minutes.
So do you want to take a short rest, or do you want to just kind of have Rakath hang back while the others go into scary rooms?
It's up to you guys.
Well, I'll definitely go in first. You guys just kind of stay behind me and let me be a question.
So really, you're already in the play. Do you want to go to the room you saw it scurry away into before?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're trying to track it, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that any of us are great at that, but...
We'll cast Detect Thoughts, and I can hear the creature's thoughts if he's around, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
That is part of the spell. It's actually rules for it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Cool. It's a lot to read.
Okay.
I don't want to read through it.
No, I get it, mostly. Basically, can you see something, you can focus your mind on it and read its thoughts.
I think there is rules for it even if you can't see it. You can also use the spell to detect the presence of a thinking creature you can't see. When you cast a spell as your action for the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. The spell can penetrate barriers.
But not the regular barriers. So, right now you don't feel anything but these two idiots, because it's a big stone structure, and even people outside you can't sense.
Okay.
Mr. Voss, do you want to give me either an investigation or survival check to look for signs of this creature? Or
I would love to. It's gonna be survival. So my investigation is...
Because you're wise.
Well, it's gonna be 1 for a second.
You look around and you're not even sure if you saw a creature before, because there's no sign of anything being here. This place is old and dusty, and the only sign that the dust has really been disturbed is your prints from before. You and Torum.
Voss, what are you doing?
Simply just looking for traces of this creature.
Oh. Well. While we're here, why don't I have a look as well?
Take a gander. What does your gross eye see?
So you see,
Not
you
very
go
much.
over to this way and you don't see anything. You do notice but it looks like this room, when this place was in use, kind of wing. It's kind of like a room and an ensuite bathroom. Appears to have been for a child, based on the decoration and the little drawings on the walls.
Are there any like toys or little things?
There
left over
is
in
a
the room?
little toy like beetle. It's like made of
I'm gonna
stone.
pick that up. I'm gonna pick that up and I'm gonna show it to Yuna, and just say, "This, well, that's all he's gonna say, and just hand it to you."
You also
and
notice,
show-
when you're kind of
Boy.
looking out that way, that no one stepped in this room other than these two. But in the like circle in the middle, someone has entered this place, because you can see another set of footprints that look
Whose
more
footprints
recent.
are lost?
Could be whoever lives here. They're not here right now.
They came after you. They're more recent.
That's a great question. Are all the doors closed? Do the footprints seem to lead anywhere?
It seems to roughly lead towards a closed door. Yeah. When you looked around, you very quickly went to this one. Some of the doors are closed, some of the doors are open.
I am going to take out the second signal whistle, and I am going to now. Here's the question: Rakath has probably had a fair amount of run-ins with the city guards. Is that fair to say?
You tell me.
I think it's given that they probably just harass him anytime he's on the street without any escort. I am going to utilize Master of Intrigue to mimic one of the guards' voices from one of the lectures that I've gotten about being out in public despite not being a drow. And I'm just going to go to the door that this appears to go to and knock on the door and then mimic the guard's voice and say, "Excuse me, we've heard about a disturbance here. Looking to get some information. Would you please come out?"
You knock on the door and it creaks open, revealing an empty room. Seems like a
the
pantry
footprints-
storeroom or something. Footprints still in here?
Do the
Survival
footprints lead-
roll.
Okie dokie. Not investigation?
You can give me an investigation. Because I like you.
I appreciate it.
What a lovely
This is
face.
every time I've asked him. So, no, didn't this time, but it was real close.
It's what you get for pushing, you know. The footprints. You can see someone walking out of this room and then back in, seemingly looking around. They're sort of the steps of someone being slow and careful, and then go off towards one of the walls. Just disappearing into the walls.
Well, that's very strange. One of the walls. This one. Over here. Rakath's gonna walk over to that wall and look and see if there's any mechanisms or anything that might...
Investigation check. Well, you can immediately tell this is actually an outer wall that leads to the walkway outside.
Yeah, there's that nat 1 that I was looking for before. That's the third one tonight in less than 2 hours.
You're kind of making a love with this wall right now when walking into the floor from the doorway is a small group of city guard.
Where the bear trap is.
Where the bear trap is.
Where the
There
bear
is
trap
a
is.
snap and a yelp, and then the immediate noise of swords being drawn.
As they're doing that, I'm gonna turn around and blow the signal whistle very loudly. Just, and then be like, "Oh, you're not the beast. We're tracking something. Broke in."
Literally, the
What?
leader of these city, they are clearly city guard of this area, right? And just
Yes.
holds a
I know.
katana
I'm
towards
asking
you.
Ignorantly.
It's like, the question is, who are you? What are you doing in this abandoned place?
What are they thinking? How do they feel?
Confusion, shock, and anger in that order. There's two of them. One of them is
Wait,
currently stuck in a bear trap.
Raka is gonna walk up actually very slowly and just have his hands up, ladder on his back, and just walk up very slowly and say, "My name is Raka. I'm hired by House de Vescos. We are looking for a monster that has gotten into the waterways of this building to try and track it down and stop it from getting out into the city. And we put that bear trap down so that it wouldn't walk out without us knowing. Unfortunately, your foot is now in that. Can we remove that for you? I can tend to those," as he pulls out some bandages from his pack. I'm a surgeon as well.
You're gonna need to give me a persuasion roll to
That's fine.
diffuse the situation. The guard slowly sheaths his katana, although keeps a hand on it, stance very similar to Voss most of the time, and will say, "Free him, then we will talk of what punishment you deserve for stepping into such an abandoned place."
I'm gonna at this point step over and just actually have my hand on my sword as well, and just say, "Do you dare accuse us of being common criminals?"
Oh, but sir, we knew the monster was down here. It would have been against the law for us not to try and stop it.
Can you roll me a lawyer? Just persuasion. Give me a persuasion.
Do you want me to roll persuasion?
Yeah.
Yeah, lawyer check.
Yeah.
Are Voss and I both rolling, or can I?
You can give him advantage on his intimidate.
Okay, I will
Sure.
do that instead of my persuasion.
Yeah.
Because
You were basically talking at the same time.
Mhm.
Stepping up.
Ooh, baby.
The guard there. You can always tell who's in charge of a guard troop because the most of the guard wear a very flat mask, kind of similar to Torum's actually. Quite emotionless, quite featureless. The people who aren't wearing masks are usually in charge because they've got to yell and tell more orders and things. And he takes a step back and says, "Yes, I did not know this was house business, and I did not know you had a samurai amongst you. Please, if you would tend to my comrade, and then we can leave you to your monster hunting ways here."
Voss, would you help me get this trap off of this gentleman so I can help him with his wounds? It looks not too bad from here. How bad does it look from there, Ollie?
Oh, he's gonna live.
Say it doesn't look.
He's gonna live.
No. More
those,
just like
those traps do one
keep the leg.
damage. Yeah, he's
Yes.
actually fine. You had one like land
just
on your
didn't know how
head.
bad at his-
Yeah, no, he's
Yes,
gonna be fine.
I just didn't know how bad he is at his job. And
I'll come over.
okay,
and
good, great.
Yeah.
just pull it off him.
Yeah.
Try to, anyways.
And then I will pull out some bandages, these little
Do a
scissor-like contraptions. Do a quick wrap up, and then also put some pressure on it and say, "Now remember, you need to put pressure on this off and on for 10 minutes. You need to do compressions. You need to make sure that you can get cold on it first, and then switch to heat because the muscles are going to be quite tender."
The guard captain says, "What monster are you hunting in this place anyway?"
That is
Boss.
something yet to be determined. We merely
It
know
looks
what-
like this. And I'll hold up the little piece of void magic.
He like really squints his eyes at the tiny vial like 10 feet away, and
I'll come closer with it.
Is it
They were right in the face.
is it a vial monster, some sort of alchemy creature?
It's void magic.
Yeah. It's like shadowy.
Something you would do well to stay away from. So if
It
we're done
affects the
here,
mind.
Well, if it is affecting the mind, I will allow you to mind your own business. And he will kind of turn and march out.
Rakath does a very deep bow. A very incredulous deep bow.
And the
It appears
guards
very
will-
genuine, though.
The guards
Do
will
I
leave
pick
you
up
alone.
anything weird from his thoughts as they leave?
Not
Oh, we
really.
gotta be telling Inquisitors or...
On your dealings with guards, most of the time, Drow are very much a execute first, ask questions later. So, I mean, they gave you a little more benefit of the doubt than they usually would, but then you two are Drow and he's a samurai, so it seems not weird.
Not a drow.
You're the problem.
You're sorry,
not a
guys.
problem.
There's never been police brutality against Rakath ever.
How do you think he mimicked that voice perfectly? Literally the guy who was beating him.
Most likely.
You did, right? Eh. I'm gonna go back to making out with that wall, and I'm gonna give it another pass.
Give it another roll.
Actually, no. Sorry. First things first, I'm gonna pick up my bear trap and actually just put it in my pack because this thing has caused nothing but problems. And then I'm gonna go investigate that wall.
If it has
It's
some
slightly
kind of
better.
if it has some kind of hidden mechanism to go outside, you can't detect it from this side. It goes out onto the street on the other end, so maybe there's one on the other end.
I believe that whoever was in here left via this wall, but I'm not sure precisely how.
Can I take a look? Yeah, or that.
You could also take a look.
Why not?
Yeah, because it's not like an automatic success. It's like an automatic average.
Yeah.
Do I have a choice between survival and investigation? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't notice anything with your finding, and you guys don't either. But there's a simple thing is that usually if there's some kind of hidden entrance, there's like airflow, and there's not through this wall, really.
Rakath is gonna sit down with his back against the wall and start splinting his arm. If I don't finish this, that's fine, but I'm just gonna sit there and think.
I'm gonna kick the wall just to see.
I'm gonna wander around.
Give it a
Try
little
to
wander.
find things.
Yeah.
A little wander.
Rakath is gonna throw you the signal whistle, Yuna, since you're walking her.
Thank you.
Can you give me a perception check, Yuna?
Mm-hmm. Took me a
When
minute to find my thing.
you travel to a certain side of the building, because it's a tower, and this floor spreads through the whole floor, aside from at one point where the stairwell that goes to the basement clearly passes through. You actually hear a sound that you recognize passing through a tiny little gritty window, a distant droning noise of a familiar musical instrument that carries in from the street outside.
How interesting. I will go down to rejoin the party. And I'll just say, Rakath, I think your friend is outside the window.
Which window?
And I'll point up to where
It's
I
like
was.
one of those like half windows that goes out onto a street, so it's like just a little bit, and there's always like, a little bit of plant matter that's kind of grown on that murky window.
There's no visibility of this individual whatsoever from there,
No,
correct?
this window is like so murky. I mean, you of all people can see out it pretty well because you can kind of like elongate, expand
stand
yourself.
up actual straight.
So you can give me a perception check actually.
Unfortunately, I am also just bad at perception is the issue. So, Yeah, it's a 5.
It's too murky. Like, you can see the street outside. The streets around this tower are pretty empty, aside from the one, like, crossroads where that tea shop is and stuff like that. And this is the other side. So it kind of just goes into streets that people only take if they're going right there, So
What floor is this?
you wouldn't even know, and it wouldn't even be written anywhere. Because it is like,
No,
where's
like,
the ground,
That's what I mean. Where is the ground compared to, like...
There isn't any.
Nope.
Right?
So what I'm asking is how high up is this window from the ground? Not
From the
within
ground?
here.
It would be... It would be a clean 5 feet up. The wall.
Oh.
Yeah.
5
But the
feet up
window
wall.
itself
Okay.
is like
It's
4 inches, probably doesn't
Gotcha.
even open. It's just one of those things where it's kind of out of alignment with the street outside. So it's just this tiny little sliver that lets in a little bit of light, but really not very much because it's such a dirty piece of glass.
Okay.
And you can hear that noise.
Well-
That you can hear the music now as well. Right, when you're in this room.
I sat down and I talked with him for a minute, didn't I? I
Yeah.
did. Oh, that's good news. Okay.
Oh no, this boy's got an idea.
Uh-huh. So,
If you want to speak to him again, I will let you know that I can now read minds.
That is both concerning and extremely useful. I need you to come down to the dungeons more often.
And Rakath is going to walk outside, go make his way out to where he hears the music.
Uh-huh.
Should we assist him?
I'll follow.
Yeah, I'll recast my spell as we get closer, because I imagine the 10 minutes are almost up.
Yep. Exactly. You've been wandering around for a bit. You see that blind beggar sitting with his Symphonia, playing
How does
that
he feel?
same droning magic. Empty.
So Rakath is going to sit down directly in front of him and use the beggar's voice to say, and this is purely just to see, and I'm testing something, and I want to say what I'm testing so you know what I'm doing. Often when someone is having a moment of dissociation or their mind isn't quite correct, if they are hypnotized, hearing their own voice will draw them out of it.
Yes.
So one of the things that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to mimic his own voice to essentially see if he's being mind controlled, if I can pull him out of it. That is one of the first things that I am doing. It is total pseudoscience, but Rakath
Best kind of science.
Yeah. So Rakath sits down and in front of him, uses the beggar's voice. Who, to be honest, I can't remember what voice you gave him, but you know,
He's a blind drow
Oh.
beggar. What do you think voice I gave him?
well, I don't know, Ollie. I can't do voices that you do. All I'm
just
going to do is
racist.
give him this voice, and that's just what's going to
It's just
happen.
racist now. That's what that is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
Is also the voice
he's
of
going
a
to mimic
blind
the
beggar,
voice.
though.
and
To be
it's
fair,
really just- It is. Yeah. So Rakath is going to use the voice of the blind beggar and say, you seem to have found us again.
the Yuna. It's almost like this person's mind turns on. Right, I imagine you almost kind of see and hear everything, right? It's like a
I'm gonna give Rakath a thumbs up. I did
well.
something.
You are a curious one. Returned again. Found me again. Keeps playing the music.
So you know it's me.
Not all who
The
are
smell, isn't it?
blind are oblivious. But it
Now,
is a clever
The
trick.
question I have. Well, it's more interesting when you can't smell me. I'll say that. This is a bit away, I think. But,
He doesn't sneeze, I sneezed.
Gesundheit. There's something going around. And
Are you still talking in
Rakath will
his
pull out
voice,
one
or
of the
did
handkerchiefs.
did you immediately drop it?
No, dropped it as soon as he
Okay.
brought it up. And
You should
hands
be
him the
careful.
handkerchief after he sneezed.
Stealing. He didn't sneeze, I sneezed. You should be careful
I know,
stealing
but I give
the
him a handkerchief.
tongues of others. Some would be very unfavorable. Not that I would know about that.
And others might discern that they don't have a voice of their own anymore. And so, to remind them, I use theirs for them. So, whose voice speaks through you now? Is it your own or someone else's?
Can you give me an intimidation check?
Sure.
I
I'm not very good today.
speak through my own voice. But the question is not one so simple. The question is this what you do? You look around abandoned places looking for what exactly? Twice I found you looking into somewhere empty.
Can I make an insight check on him real quickly?
Yeah!
That's better.
He definitely... You feel like he's kind of been here watching you. Maybe not from the start. But definitely here now. Is here deliberately for you as a party. But the kind of... You're very curious about, you know, what this person is. And that hasn't really given you much more of a clue. But he's definitely almost playing with you.
Can I'm actually going to reach for him very slowly and just say,
May I touch your face?
Oh.
I understand it's a bit of an uncomfortable question, but I actually am hoping to look closer. And I find, as I'm sure you do, you can see more with touch than you can with your eyes.
No, touch is... Soon evolution will make it unnecessary.
It's a weird thing to say.
Okay,
Do I get anything more from that? By reading his
Not
mind?
with
I know
not
exactly what that means.
not without
It's
piercing
probably
deeper.
fair.
Yeah.
I know, which I'm going to. I'm just giving Rekath time.
and
Because as soon as I do, he knows.
I'm going to look at him. The thing is, Rakath has been working with void magics. He's been working with understanding what's happening with mind flayers a little bit more. So he's got an idea, and he's just going to kind of run with it here for a moment.
So you are of the mindset that simply knowing is better than discovering.
I am of the mindset that knowing is more important.
Have you considered that might be just due to your disposition as a spy?
Spy is...
Watcher, investigator, whatever you choose. I don't really care.
He actually
You-
hucks
Medicine
up
check on him.
quite a kind of phlegmy mass. And he's not coughing into his hands like I am. He's just coughing openly. Medicine check, go away.
I'm actually
That's
going to
alright.
catch. I'm going to catch that at the handkerchief. as well.
Oh! I guess it's canon.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that medicine check. That's not bad. 16.
Is choking and is not reacting nearly as much as someone should. He hasn't actually been
Relatable.
breathing for the last... Like, as soon as you notice, you kind of look at him, and he's not breathing, and kind of the neck is, like, twitching in the way that someone who is choking and gagging would. But he's, like,
I'm going to
continuing
quickly
sit
pull
there.
up Jarviskjir's kit, and I'm going to take in one of those needles. I'm going to take off the top, and I'm actually just going to jam the needle into his throat so he has air through his
Can
throat
you
underneath.
roll me an attack roll for that, please?
I'm gonna probe deeper at
Yes.
this point in time.
Okay.
I think
Improvised
we're-
weapon.
Mm-hmm. What is it? A wisdom saving
Oh, but
throw
Ollie,
against...
you don't need to roll. He rolls a 4.
Hey! Okay.
Okay.
That solves my problem.
Yeah,
You probe deeper. Diddly-doo, 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 diddly-doo. You just read its thoughts. That's what it means. Instead of like reading the top of the book, you read the proper thing.
Yeah.
The thoughts are very strange. there's like what to visualize, right? As a very visual person, it's almost like an ink has completely, like when you start probing, the ink completely saturates the page all over it, covering whatever was there with something quite new that has only one thing in mind. I have all the information I need. Now is the time to escape. Can you roll your check, Mr. Rakath? Improvised weapon.
Yeah, would this be strength or dex? 'Cause it's kind of
really a
finessey
strength.
what I'm doing. So.
Well, it's whatever.
Okay,
It's
sure.
a small one. You can usually do whichever.
Okay, I'm gonna do dex just because, from my point of view, this is very much me trying to stab a specific spot in his neck so that I can
just
give
do
him
it
air.
already.
All right. Well,
that's
it's
great.
another fucking nat 1.
Because he,
Christ.
while choking, catches your arm. In that moment, the coughing grows more and more, and you actually notice this person asphyxiating as whatever he's coughing coughs up. This slimy tendril that kind of erupts from the back of his throat, followed by another one peels out of his nose, and all of that mouth section starts to distort and change as the skin cracks and breaks and almost flakes off, revealing a very different shaped head that kind of inflates from inside with a very sappy, sticky, almost lilac grey skin. The hands that grab yours twitch and grow and elongate. And can you all roll initiative, please?
Yeah.
I did it very quickly. So
Yarp.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. You just didn't click your token.
Yeah, I realized
Cardinal
that
sin.
afterwards. Do you want me to roll another one and then use that?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Here's another one for you.
And you can roll another one and then change it to what it needs to be. What you
Yeah.
rolled before. That's what we usually do.
Yeah.
Do.
Also, the investor lasts for 1 hour, so I imagine it's still on.
Yes, it's not been more than an hour, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I am missing a Una on this turn order.
Oh, it's because I didn't click my token.
Bad boys, bad boys!
Hey,
what you
I
gonna do? When they come for you. Now, what's totally appropriate is that this creature, this newborn mind flayer, as the skin is peeling off, actually doesn't get to turn for ages, and it's Rakath whose hand, and like the needle is crushed as the hands are twisting and changing.
That was my favorite needle.
Is face to face with this newborn mind flayer while the face is still changing and distorting as it's shedding the skin of the drow previous. What do you want to do?
Kill it with fire, but I gave up that spell scroll.
Well, hilariously enough, my plan is to literally grab a flask of oil from my pouch and pour it all over this thing's head.
That's
I
an improvised weapon
light a
attack.
torch. Yeah.
To pour the oil
Strength?
first, yeah. Yeah.
Strength or dex?
Strength.
Strength?
Yeah.
Dex? Strength. Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah, he kind of holds your other arm at bay, not really even allowing you to, like you get it out, you get the oil out, but you can't pour it all over him this turn.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm going to... Am I considered grappled right now?
No, not quite.
Then I am going to bonus action disengage.
Uh-huh.
Using cunning action. And then move away and hide behind Voss and say,
Okay.
This might be your territory.
As we shift to Voss, let me describe the scene. You are on one of the very many walkway streets of Narashiro, kind of between two towers. Now, while there is some fencing kind of on the edge of this 10 feet wide walkway, really it's decorative and it plunges down into the city below. And there's actually roof to this area that has kind of lights that dangle down, so you can see everything. And as Rakath scurries away, this newborn Mind Flayer stands up tall to this gangly, thin, emancipated size, oozing with this slime that coats its being. It's your turn. Have fun.
Cool.
He is no more than 20 feet away. I imagine you wouldn't have been more far away than that.
Yeah, I would have been pretty close. Okay, well, I am going to just kind of like crouch down, go to my stance, hand on blade, and I feel like probably only Rakath would be able to hear, so you'll just hear Voss say under his breath, "Degenerates," and charge into action. So I'm going to use my action surge to give myself a second action. For my bonus action, I'm going to make use of Fighting Spirit, so my 2 attacks will both be at advantage, and I'll give myself some extra hit points. And go in and attack twice.
Samurais, man. Samurais.
Not awesome.
You run in that first attack, this thing moves with a very unnatural speed and grace. This nude Mind Flayer kind of springs away from you. It's almost like there's no weight weighing it down, you know. But the second strike is an easy hit.
11.
Yeah, it's that hurts it. That definitely hurts it. I mean, it cuts deep. This isn't a creature with any kind of supernatural defense. Isn't a creature with any tough hide. It's just flesh. It's very newborn, sticky, sappy flesh as well. So you can just cut into the thing and it screeches and gurgles and falls back into the kind of crook of boxes it was standing in before, or sitting in before.
That's my turn.
Una.
I'm gonna cast Essence Trap.
Okay. Charisma saving throw for Oli. But really, it's for a Mind Flayer. And it has a good modifier, but rolls garbage. It's gonna fail.
Yay! Good news! I'm not the only one rolling garbage tonight. I have had so many nat ones.
Oh!
21 points of damage.
Holy shit!
Absolutely.
That's actually a kill. It's a newborn Mind Flayer. It doesn't have a whole lot of HP.
Do I kill it still?
Yeah, you see the thing struggle. Almost like it's this powerful wind of the magic that sucks and saps away at it. The color of the magic kind of goes from the kind of ethereal white to actually a little bit of blue, dark blue and purples as it kind of falls to its knees and the creature falls limp, almost like taking one last breath. And the way Mind Flayers are, like a kind of giant squid, like kind of inflates the head and the skin before starting to deflate. This kind of almost boneless mass.
Put it in the jar.
Yeah, that soul stone, unlike a usual one where there's kind of a white light inside, the light inside is a tumultuous, sparking blue.
You know what? Maybe it'll go in its own little box.
That's probably smart. Keep it separate from the others. Don't want it infecting.
I want you to put little googly eyes on all of the soul stones.
I am going to walk up to this newborn body. Can I make a medicine check to see, like, if it was actually a drow first, or if this was some kind of transmutation magic to make it?
Yeah.
Medicine?
Mm-hmm.
Great. It's
This
garbage
requires
it's a garbage.
further investigation.
Well,
you
in
do
that
notice
case, I'm
you
gonna
do
pick them
notice
up
the
and-
immediate things that a Mind Flayer's physiology is very different. For example, no sexual characteristics, first or secondary, you know, completely neutral. Just covered in this strange, almost embryonic fluid. Who knows? But you can definitely pick up the body as those two guards run over from around the corner, as guards always do in D&D, running over just a little bit too late.
That's good. If it had come back to my turn, I was going to signal whistle to try and get them here, so that's fine.
Yeah.
As
It
they
works.
come over,
It's all right.
I'm literally just like flicking the blood off of my sword.
Which is like the blood is actually blue as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of.
I'm going to gather up that blood, by the way. Like, I'm not leaving anything on
There's
the...
not a
well,
whole
like,
lot.
genuinely,
Well, the
it's just a
creature
clean-
itself is bleeding, right? So you've got a whole mind flayer
Yes,
worth
I'm
of blood.
actually going to wrap. I'm gonna wrap the mind flayer as much as like I'm doing everything I can to preserve this body, and then I'm actually
get
gonna put it on the ladder that's on my back and strap him down using rope.
It's a
to the
corpse
ladder
sled!
so that I have the corpse sleigh. This was half of the intention of putting it on my back. And then I'm gonna actually clean up the blood off.
I'm gonna wave to the
Signs
guards.
of it.
The guard kind of look at the whole scene, and the captain says, "Is that what I think it is?"
When he says that, I'm literally gonna walk up like directly in front of him and just like doing that power walk that you know someone's pissed when they're walking towards you. And I'm just going to gesture towards this corpse that Rakath is kind of getting on his back, I guess. Just like, this was one of our kids. Changed into a mind flayer in this city on your watch. What are you doing? Have you not noticed?
We are not at war with mind flayers. We are not to protect against their outs. This is above my...
I'm just gonna
Actions,
lean
you
into him and
understand.
almost like
It's not
put a hand on his shoulder and be like, we are at war with everybody who is not us. If you haven't realized
Except me.
by now, then I don't know how you
Ex-
ended up in the
except me.
position you're in.
Boss. Oh, I thought we were friends, boss.
We are friends, Rakath. You know how he gets. He's just for the guards.
The
I'm
guard
I'm just-
captain will
It's a very
snap
traumatic
back
experience.
and will shake his head and will say, "This will be reported to everyone that it must be reported to with the most immediate of haste. If we are at war with those,
We can take care of that.
yes.
I already have an
House
appointment
Deveskos.
with Tom.
Yes. This will
For
still
what
be
it's
reported
worth,
to where
I
it's
already
meant
have
to
an
be
appointment.
reported.
Rakath is going to pull out a document, some parchment that he just purchased, and quickly scribble down a note. And using the forgery kit, I'm going to quickly show just the signature at the bottom. And I'm doing this in front of them, admittedly, but I'm doing it in front of them, and I'm doing my signature, but my signature is not who I am saying I am. And I'm going to... here's the thing. Writing a note saying this is House Deveskos business that will be reported to the Daimao. Directly, your involvement is no longer required. And then I'm going to write, instead of my name, I'm going to write Yuno's brother's name, but I'm going to pretend like it's me, and then hand
me a forgery check with disadvantage because you're directly
Sure,
in
I'm
front
literally-
of the person forging.
I am question, what does forgery use? Is this intelligence?
It's intelligence, yes.
Alright. Disadvantage. I've rolled terribly tonight, but one of them was a nat 20.
That guard
Unfortunately,
captain
that doesn't matter,
takes
'cause it-
that guard captain takes the paper and stuffs it away, and will step back and will actually kind of yell to one of the other guards who is actually rushing from further away and say, "Make sure this scene is cleaned up." And will
I will be
start marching
doing
away.
cleanup. Thank you very much.
That's an intimidate. That's not even against this
I'm-
guard because he's turned away. It's
Literally-
against like 2 regular guards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who back up.
That's much better.
They back up and they leave it to you.
Before-
Absolutely.
I turn with the mind flayer on my back now and just walk over, and I'm literally just scooping up blood using a little scalp and
Yeah.
putting it into a vial.
We know what you're doing, boss.
Before the captain leaves, I'm just going to say to him, we will handle reporting of this incident, but make sure your men know to stay safe and to keep the people safe. That is what you're doing. Just be aware. There may be something brewing in the city.
He will just keep on marching. and leave you there, where you can scoop up the rest of the crime scene. And
Boss, look at the tentacles.
I will point out, I am actually going to do some very brief illustrations as well of the Mind Flayer and of the whatever remnants there might be from the embryonic.
here in the public, on a public street that people are using right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very quick sketches. Like I'm not doing like details. Also,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
Rakath.
I know. I just want to
He's a fucked up
clarify. That,
individual.
yeah.
Yes, I am literally sitting there just going to quickly sketch out the embryonic mess and then clean it up.
There's not like a slime on the ground. The slime is all on the Mind Flayer.
Just anything that fell off.
Yeah,
of
there's
him,
a little bit
basically.
of blood. That's all.
I
While
wanted
you're
to
doing that, I'll just direct traffic in the
Cool.
street. See, like, nothing to see here. Keep moving.
Move along, move along.
That's why you can get away with this, because you did the
Basically,
intimidate
I'm-
check to keep people away anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, you
Raka,
can-
this is such a unique specimen. Mid-transformation. Do you think we can get like chemicals to preserve it the way it is?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm almost thinking we need to speak to
It would be a
Tom.
really big
Yeah.
jar.
I
If
have
we
a
were to
barrel.
look at it. Well, that could
I
work.
have a barrel. I'm a little bit worried because usually these barrels are used for distilling, so I have a feeling that it would break him down faster if we contain the air. I'm still learning the brewery process, but I believe void magic being as potent as it is in these folk, I wouldn't be surprised if we could distill down some more of those vials that you've got.
Oh,
Okay.
Now,
exciting.
first things first, let's report this.
Yes.
Also, quick question: did his instrument?
That's still there. So I said there was nothing remaining. There is a degloved drow skin.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I meant when I said embryonic expulsions.
Yes. That and the instrument you can pick up. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so that's what I was sketching was the deceased.
You are
drow,
totally
and then
right.
quickly-
I completely blanked on that for a second.
I was like, holy shit, it disappeared. Like that was.
I'm
I
just
thought you were just like,
bad.
no.
Well, to be fair, there's
No,
not
that's
as
okay.
much as you think there should be, but yes.
Okay, all right, cool. That's good to know. That's good to know. I'm
You'll
gonna
have
pick him
to
up.
start putting that back together like a jigsaw puzzle and figure that out later.
That's okay. Yeah.
Voss, would you mind helping me carry this, please?
I don't say yes or no.
I only have room for one. I only have room for one on the
As he
ladder,
hands it, you can
unfortunately.
kind of see the degloved like face of the drow, just kind of in an empty, endless scream. And actually, the eyes, they're like, those are different eyes.
Are they in good condition?
Are the eyes in good condition?
They would be like all blood.
By good
'cause
condition,
they
I mean
would, they would have like semi-burst,
Yeah.
right, in the process, but they are whole.
the thing is, capillaries can be drained.
Yeah, exactly,
So-
right. So that they are whole.
Okay, cool.
You can when you
thank
have
you.
this in
That's
your
excellent.
lab, you can go over a whole lot. We can go over a lot of details of this kind of thing in your lab.
I'm so excited. Yes. Sorry, I'm
Let's
too
get off
excited.
this
I'm living my dream of being Repo, the genetic opera.
And just merge tentacles onto someone. You can bring all this into your lab, and I imagine tell your brother of this, or not. This is actually a valid question.
I'm going to.
I was gonna come
I'm
in and
going
be like,
to be
brother,
working straight.
I have news. I don't know if it's good news or bad news.
I don't like the way you said news.
Well, you see, we investigated the monster situation, and we found a drow that was in the process of being turned into a mind flayer, and then we killed it. And took its body. And told the guards. They were there.
Must be suppressed and told to the appropriate people. I wonder if this is the rebel mind flayer that we've been told about, or definitely the actions of. I would hope.
It was gathering information, and I said something about escaping. Well, thought something about escaping. I didn't say that.
We will
loud.
assume that it is of a rebel mind flayer, and maybe have to torture those who Rakath will be busy, I am sure. I will make sure the appropriate people are told and the appropriate people are silenced. Did anyone see this transformation?
Yes, a host of guards.
They didn't see it. They came after the transformation.
Good enough. Close enough. He will kind of write that down. And he actually writes down the names because he kind of assumes it's the local guard and he knows their names. Writes it down with a very delicate quill. And
I believe we told them we would handle it.
We will be handling it, yes. Part of handling it is handling them. I'll have to ask Rakath what his particular skills are.
You want to see it?
I do. The less I know about the... Don't do that. That's offensive.
Is it?
There's a long pause as he's also confused. Well, I wouldn't do it in front of Catarat.
That's a good point. I probably wouldn't do that. That's rude.
But if they are infiltrating our society... Oh, I can feel myself fading at just the thought, but... If you have a sample, Rakath has all the permission possible to learn all he can possible from it. That'll be our payment for dealing with this mess. That will be all. Wait! Do you have its soul?
Oh, yes, I do.
That
I'll
will
show
be
hold it out.
valuable. Even he notices the difference in it.
Mm-hmm.
That is no
Odd,
doubt
isn't it?
It's no doubt important. If we can talk to the souls, we can learn very much of these things. I will send the messages to everyone who needs to be messaged. For now, lay low, stay quiet, and assist Rakath in his studies of this creature. Whoosh.
Fine.
And he will kind of finish. He will finish writing up, and then have a lot of time on the phone, a lot of time on the sing ring. So, that's actually a great place for us to take a break before we have an hour of William asking biological questions and rolling medicine checks.
This is my dream game.